What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. Now look, this episode, you've seen the thumb, top 5 beaches in Queensland. Now all of last year we were basically locked down into Queensland and we gave most of the local beaches a red hot nudge, and I reckon I've narrowed it down to my top 5 favourites. So we'll get stuck straight into the video. If you are enjoying these, make sure you subscribe, chuck us a like, we really do appreciate it, and turn that bell on so you don't miss a single episode. In the next 2 weeks, we will be leaving for our Lockdown Under series as we travel most of the way around Australia. Not sure when we're going to be coming back, but we cannot wait. So number 5, we're going to kick it off from the bottom. Number 5. Now, this is a beach that we've actually been to a couple of times. I think personally I've been there about 3, maybe 4 times now. We've filmed it twice, so you will be able to go back, check out our episodes, and judge it for yourself. Now, this one is coming in the top 5 for a couple of reasons. Number 1, it is always extremely quiet. Now look, I've never gone in your peak seasons, but it's a beautiful little spot. It's actually separated into 2 parts. So half of it is National Park and the other half is Crown Land, where you can take your dogs, and I'm pretty sure the camping is free. So have you guessed it yet? A few of you would have if you followed our content. Number 5 is Kinkuna Beach. Recently, we took a couple of the big boats up there, ran offshore and chased a few fish. We actually managed to get a couple. A great spot to take the boat up. Another great spot to take the little tinny. You can run all the way south down Kinkuna Beach, drop in, put the little tinny in the river mouth there and run past Woodgate. You can try your luck at a little bit of crabbing. You can have a bit of a flick. See if you can't get a flatty. It is a cracking little spot. And if you've never been to Kinkuna, get your ass up there. That's coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is another place that we filmed a couple of times. We seem to go back to all our favourites a few times to film. I just can't help it. But this one, it's a little bit further away from the Gold Coast than Kinkuna. It's one of my favourite parts about this place is it's a challenge from the get-go to even get to this camping location. You've got to have a bit of a go. The tyre pressures have got to be down, the revs have got to be up. You've got a magic climb to get in. Some of you should be guessing it by now. And then once you get through this climb, you're just greeted with an absolutely stunning view. Plenty of epic little campsites, but not too many. So the good thing about this beach is it's never overly crowded because there's only a limited number of campsites. You should have guessed it by now. It is 5 Rocks up in the Byfield National Park. We sort of stopped in coming home from our big Northern Territory trip and rocked up to this place that we'd only ever heard about from a few mates, and oh my God, did it take the breath away. So we went back there with the full crew. You can go and check out that episode, but to run you through a few of the highlights and why 5 Rocks has made it into the top 4. Straight off the bat, you've got this beautiful headland that comes out, and you can drop the tinny in, you can head out for a little bit of a fish, you can have a bit of a spear in certain areas around 5 Rocks. You've got these beautiful dune camps that sort of overlook the beach. If you head down the beach, you can jump over to the other side where there is a little bit of a river inlet. There's palm trees with coconuts in them, like it is one of those proper little postcard areas. Now, if you jump over the other side, you can put the tinny in, do a little bit of crabbing, flick for those flatty and some of those smaller mangrove fish. So you've got the tinny side. If you wanted to, I haven't done it yet. We haven't taken a big boat up there because let me tell you, it'd be a fair old challenge to get it up the hill. But you've got to love an area that's still a challenge to get into. There's so many of these places throughout Queensland and the rest of Australia now where if it gets too hard, they tend to throw some rubber mats down or they put a boardwalk in. So get up to Byfield, check it out before old Big Sandy gets turned into a highway. But at the moment, it's still a challenge, and it's a bloody good challenge at that. There's actually a beautiful little freshwater swimming hole you can go and visit too. So there's a couple of cool little things that you can do all within that little Byfield National Park. But hands down, it is definitely one of my favourite beaches within Queensland, and we will be going back. It's one of those places where you have a memory and I think you just never forget it. We were up there in this absolutely torrential rain and the whole beach was at least an inch of water across it. There was nothing to do. The wind was coming in sideways. We couldn't do anything but hide in the car, so we went out for a spear. Managed to spear a couple of good cod, catch a couple of crays, What an epic location. So number 4, that's an absolute must. If you've never ever been up to the Byfield National Park, go and check that one out. Let's get into number 3. Let's go the big 3. I don't think there's going to be too many surprises about what the top 3 beaches in Queensland are. I'll give you a hint, they're islands. So I think there's going to be a bit of controversy perhaps in which order they should go in, and I want you guys to comment below and tell me your 1 to 5 all the way through. But let's get into it. Number 3, this place is so close to Brisbane. You can just about throw a stone at it. It's one of those spots, in my opinion, that's probably one of the best locations you can go as a beginner. If it's your first time wanting to get into a little bit of four-wheel driving, do a bit of beach camping, as far as I'm concerned, this is probably one of the number 1 spots to ease your way into it. And this is the location that we tell everyone who's just bought a four-wheel drive and wants to gain a little bit of experience. So, still a few roads on the island. Obviously, you've got a couple of different beaches to choose from and a couple of harder tracks through the middle. So, it's probably the most diverse amount of activities that you can sort of do. And it is North Stradbroke Island. It's been a massive favourite of ours last year. Personally, I went there about 4 or 5 times last year. We definitely filmed a couple of episodes over there. I think we've done 2 now. You get one of the later barges over on a Friday afternoon and you can spend all day Saturday there, Saturday night. You can be home by Sunday afternoon easily. Now, there's a couple of options with Straddy. One, you can go over there and stay in a house. You know, if you want to just enjoy the beaches and the boardwalks. But look, obviously, you know, you want to go and camp, let's be honest. So there's a couple of main beaches you can camp on over at Straddy. One is Flinders. It's probably what I would say is the easier beach to get on, and it's not as long, predominantly hard sand, not a lot of soft sand. So you are allowed dogs over there as well. But Flinders Beach is probably a great little entry beach if you're just getting into four-wheel driving. You come off the blacktop, you don't have to go too far to your campsite, and you know, nice easy access to all the campgrounds. You do have a couple of toilets and showers and bits and pieces. Then you got Main Beach, which is a little bit more open. You've got the softer sand when the tide comes up, and it's proper dune camping. There's so many reasons that Straddy is absolutely amazing. From the beautiful point lookout walk, then you've obviously got the ability to chuck a tinny in at Flinders Beach. If the weather's right, you can run out. You've got a couple of epic dive locations for spearfishing, and of course there's a couple of green zones there. Make sure you check your green zones where you can jump in and snorkel, or you can even go scuba diving. We actually went over there, jumped in, went for a scuba. So there's so many different things you can do over at Stradbroke. You just will never be bored. So there we go, number 3. It's got to be Stradbroke Island, and a lot of people will probably tell you that it's their favourite. So that's why I want to make sure you guys let me know your favourites in the comments. Now we're going to go to the big hooers. Number 1 and number 2. This is where I reckon I'm going to get a few people sort of agreeing and disagreeing with me. But coming in at number 2, I'm going to give you a few hints, and I want to see if you guessed it. This one's actually Jess's favourite. Beautiful crystal clear water. You got that cracking white sand. Beautiful freshwater lakes to swim in. A couple of pubs. There's a resort that you can stay in if you want to get a little bit flash and lavish. Shipwrecks, amazing snorkeling, and then you've got some of the most beautiful reefs that you can basically snorkel and free dive on within a couple of hours from Brisbane. So if you haven't guessed it yet, it is Moreton Island. Now, this has been a debate with myself and mates for absolutely years, which is the best. And look, coming in at number 2 is Moreton Island. You're looking at about an hour ride over on the barge from the Port of Brisbane. On the west coast, you've got beautiful camping along in the northwest bays. You've got the beautiful white sands, and on the good days, it is Mill Pond out front. It is absolutely gorgeous. Then through the centre, you've got Blue Lagoon, which is a beautiful freshwater swimming spot that you guys can go to for the day. You've got a pub right down the south end called the Gutter Bar. It's a great excuse, I should say, to do a lap of Moreton Island. You can stop down at the bottom for lunch. You can have a beautiful feed, a cold beer, and then make your way around the rest of the island. You can four-wheel drive on the beach. The camping is second to none. You can take the jet skis. You can take the boats. Snorkeling. You can take your canoes. there is a couple of ships that have been blown up and sunk just off the coastline of Moreton, and it is some of the best snorkeling that you will do within a few hours of Brisbane. Look, we've been up through Airlie Beach and out to a couple of the reefs. The snorkeling at those wrecks is absolutely incredible for just the average bloke to jump in and throw a snorkel on. If you don't have all that sort of equipment, there's always people there that can lend you those sort of glass bottom canoes, snorkeling gears and bits and pieces. So there's no excuse to not get over there and snorkel on these wrecks. If you're a little bit more adventurous, on one of the recent episodes, we took the green machine, we had the jet skis, we ran right up to the north end of Moreton Island to go for a bit of a fish, and we had to check out a reef up there. It's called Flinders Reef, and it is absolutely gorgeous. If you do get over to Moreton and you've got a little tinny and the weather's good, or you've got a big boat, make sure you get out there and check out Flinders Reef. It's an absolute must, and something that I only discovered last year. So I've been going there for the better part of 10, 12 years now. I've lost count how many times I've been over there, and that was the first time last year that I'd been to that Flinders Reef. It is absolutely spectacular. Go and watch the full episode if you want to find out a few more details about where that is. I could talk on Moreton forever, not to mention you've got the beautiful lighthouse walk where you can head up the top, check out the lighthouse, watch some dolphins and turtles. If you're lucky, you'll see whales come cruising through. There's a couple of old World War II bunkers you can go and check out. The only downside is probably the barge getting over there is getting a little bit pricey, but Moreton Island comes in at number 2. I don't think number 1 is any surprise. It's my personal favourite. For people that have no idea about it, let's hype it up a little bit. So you've got the beautiful white sand. It's the biggest sand island in the world. That in itself is worth going for a look. You've got multiple beautiful freshwater lakes that you can go and swim in. You've got the lighthouse right at the very top. You've got challenging four-wheel drive tracks. You've got the beautiful west coast with freshwater creeks running through there. There is so many things to do at Fraser that you just cannot cover it in one trip. You could go there for a month and you'd be hard pushed to see and experience all of Fraser Island. Every single time I go there, I find a new experience. I find a little hidden beach that I didn't know was there. And just recently we're starting to drop the boats in up at Orchard Beach there, push out and do some decent offshore fishing. And let me tell you, if you get out off that east coast, you will catch some decent fish all within about 10, 20 kilometres offshore. If you want to check out Fraser, I think we've done 2 or 3 videos on Fraser now, so go back and check them out. Every time we go there, it's something completely different. As far as I'm concerned, within sort of 5-6 hours of Brisbane, that is just about as much adventure as you can have. Full driving, boating, camping, fishing. It's got it all. Make sure you guys tell me in the comments what's your top 5. I want you to list them, your favourite, all the way down to number 5. I want to know how many people agree with me, how many people think I'm absolutely full of it. I'm hoping there's a couple of beaches that I just haven't been to yet that are going to blow some of these, and I may have to sit back down and do another top 5. Now, we've been to some absolutely gorgeous beaches through the Airlie Beach region, all the way up through Cape York. But for the pure fact that some of those beaches you can't swim at, you can't put your full drives on, that is why I've sort of gone with my top 5. But let me have it. I want to know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this little in-shed chat. We're going to try and knock out a couple more of these as we get ready for our big trip. But if you are enjoying these, guys, make sure you like it. Subscribe. About 70% of you guys that watch this content still aren't subscribing, so please subscribe. We really do appreciate it. And stay tuned, because in a couple of weeks' time, we are hitting the road full time to conquer the big lap of Australia. Locked Up Down Under series is coming very shortly. We cannot wait to hit the road and bring you guys weekly content. So every Sunday, 6 p.m, we'll be bringing you guys some form of content. Till next time, guys, make sure you get out, enjoy the explore life. There's 5 beaches. Go get stuck in.